If you are hearing this broadcast, that means you are probably driving through one of the Dakotas, Wyoming, or rural Washington at roughly 3:47 in the morning. If not, then there is proof that not everything is scientifically explainable. I'm Francis King, your host for Fact, Factual Actual Conspiracy Theories. We're here tonight on Fact with Case File 347, The Signal Man. Creepy is not the right word for a man who has seen a ghost, a specter, or a sign. But it is the right word for what writer Roger Kentley encountered one weekend holiday in the mid-1860s.
Roger Kentley is a writer on Weekend Holiday in the small town of Clayton. After dinner one evening, he decides to take a walk along the railroad trench. From atop the cut through the hillside, he can see the tracks below. As he looks down, he sees a short, graying man waving a signal flag.
Hello! Below there! Hello! Is there a path by which I can come down and speak with you?
The old man pointed his signal flag toward a small path cut in the stone that led to his sturdy wooden shack. Kentley was hesitant to attempt such a daring descent, but he was intrigued by the man who seemed to have such a lonesome position. Something almost spiritual drew him to the figure at the bottom of the trench.
I hope you don't mind a visitor, sir.
Not at all. It's just you rather scared me.
You look as if you've seen a ghost.
I was doubtful. I think I've seen you before.
With a shaking hand, the old man pointed toward the red light above the train tunnel. Roger wondered if his hand shook from age or fear.
Where? By the tunnel?
Yes, sir.
Be that as it may, my good fellow, I can assure you I was never there.
Some moments are eerily memorable for unexplainable reasons. While Roger Kentley knew he had never been near the tunnel or the signal light, an icy finger of paranoia ran down his spine as the two made their way toward the safety of the warm wooden shack. In the shack, a small burning stove took the chill off the air. There were several lanterns, flags, and signaling devices, and the telegraph that was used to communicate among the signalmen along the line.
Sir, you do not seem like a man who is easily troubled. Whatever has you so upset?
Seated in the shack, the signalman begins to tell Roger his story.
It is a very difficult story to tell, sir. Let me begin by asking you why you used those words to call out to me.
What words?
You called out, "Hello, below there."
Well, yes, I certainly believe I said something to that effect.
No, sir. Those were your very words.
Well, I said them, no doubt, because I saw you below.
For no other reason?
What other reason could I possibly have?
You had no feeling that they were conveyed to you in any supernatural way?
Well, no, sir.
I took you for someone else on that ridge this evening. That's what troubles me.
That's a mistake.
No, who that someone else was.
Could you, recall who it was?
I don't know.
Did he look like me?
I never saw the face. The left arm is across the person's face, and the right arm is waving, frantically waving, this way.
As they continue to talk in the shack, Roger becomes increasingly unnerved by a chilling presence hanging in the air.
One moonlit night, I was sitting here when I heard a voice cry, "Hello, below there!" I got up and looked out the door to check. Near the mouth of the tunnel, someone was standing with their left arm across their face, frantically waving, just as I told you. The voice seemed hoarse with shouting, and it cried, "Look out! Look out!" And then again, "Hello! Below there! Look out!" I grabbed my lantern, turned it on red, ran toward the figure calling out, "What's wrong? What's happened?" It stood just outside the blackness of the tunnel. I advanced closer, wondering why it kept its face covered. But as I came upon it, the figure was gone.
Gone? Through the tunnel?
No, I ran into the tunnel some 500 yards. I could see the distant markers on the wall, and in the quiet stillness, could hear the water dripping into the tunnel. But I could not see the figure. There was very unnatural feeling in the air, and it quite unnerved me. So I ran out of the tunnel even faster than I went in. When I got outside, I looked at the red light above the tunnel, climbed the ladder, see what I could. There was nothing. So I hurried back to my shack, telegraphed up and down the line. An alarm has been given. Is anything wrong? The answer came back both ways. All well.
So it was nothing.
No. Within 6 hours after the appearance, there was the most horrific accident that ever occurred on this rail line. The Clayton Tunnel wreck. Within a few hours, they were bringing the dead and injured out of the tunnel to the very spot where I saw the figure. That was a year ago. I'd fairly well recovered from the shock and the terror of that night when just 3 months ago the figure had returned. It was just before dawn when I looked out and saw the ghostly specter at the mouth of the tunnel.
Did it cry out? Did it wave its arms?
No, it was silent and motionless, leaning against the ladder below the light, with its left arm covering its face just like the image I told you about.
Did you go up to it?
I came in and had to sit down, partly to collect my thoughts and partly because it turned me faint. When I went to the door again, the daylight was here, and the ghost was gone.
But nothing followed, nothing came of this?
That very day, as a train came out of the tunnel, I noticed at a carriage window on my side what looked like confusion of hands and heads, and something waved. I saw it just in time to signal the engineer to stop. He had put on the brakes, but it took almost 150 yards for the train to stop. I ran after the train, and as I went along, heard terrible screams and cries. A beautiful young lady had died instantaneously in one of the compartments and was brought in here and laid on this floor between us.
Truly?
True, sir. True. Precisely as it happened, as I tell you. And now this is why I'm so troubled. The specter came back about a week ago. Ever since, it's been there from time to time.
At the light?
Yes, at the danger light.
What does it seem to do?
It waves its arms just like the earlier apparitions, and it seems to call out, "For God's sakes, clear the way!" And "Hello, below there! Look out! Look out!" It stands waving to me. It rings my little signal bell.
Did it ring your bell when I arrived?
Yes, twice.
Why, it must be your imagination. I did not hear or see the bell ring.
No, sir. It is not a normal ring. The ghost ring is a strange vibration in the bell that it derives from nothing else. Nor do I see the bell move. So I don't wonder that you failed to hear it. But I heard it. It was meant for me only.
You must have seen the figure then when you looked out. Yes?
Yes, both times. Looking over your shoulder at the tunnel, I could see it there. After each ring.
Well, night has fallen. Will you look with me outside to see if the ghostly figure is still there?
I will. But I fear only I can see it. By this time, I hope you understand what so troubles me. What does the specter mean? What is it warning against? What is the danger? Where is the danger? It is telling me there is danger somewhere on the line. Some dreadful calamity will happen. It is not to be doubted this third time. After what has gone before with the train wreck and the young woman, it haunts me. What am I to do? If I telegraph danger on either side of me or on both, I can give no reason for it. I should get into trouble and do no good. They would think I was mad. This is the way it would work. Danger, take care. What danger, where? I don't know, but for God's sake, take care. They'd fire me, and what else could they do? When it first stood under the danger light, why did it not tell me where the accident was to happen? If it must happen. Why not tell me how it could be averted? If it could be averted. On the second time, could it not have warned me? She is going to die. Let them keep her at home. If it came on those two occasions only to show me that its warnings were true, and so to prepare me for the third, why not warn me plainly now? And I, Lord help me, a mere poor signalman on this solitary station. Why not go to somebody with credit to be believed and the power to act?
Roger Kentley left the old man's shack that night in the very darkness that brought the signalman such fear. He had offered to stay, but his host was insistent that he should be all right, now that another soul believed in his visions. Kentley promised to return the next morning when the signalman would be on duty. After an early breakfast, Roger left the inn and headed toward the railroad trench to meet the signalman. As he approached the stairs down into the trench, he saw a white figure at the mouth of the tunnel, with his left sleeve across his face and his right arm waving wildly. A short distance away stood a group of men around a wooden box no larger than a bed. The danger light was not lit, but the signaling of the figure toward the crowd made Roger tense with fear. He hastily descended into the trench and approached the men.
What is the matter?
Signalman, killed this morning, sir.
No, not the man belonging to that box.
You will recognize him, sir, if you knew him, for his face is quite calm and composed. Strange, he really appears very much at peace.
What? How did this happen? How did this happen?
He was run down by an engine, sir. No man on the rail line knew his work better, but somehow he was not clear of the outer rail. It was just as day broke. He had extinguished the light over the tunnel and had the lamp in his hand. As the engine came out to the tunnel, his back was towards her and she cut him down. That man drove her and was explaining how it happened. The driver's eyes were inset and hollow, as if he could not believe the horror of what he had done.
Coming around the curve in the tunnel, sir. I saw him at the end, as if I were looking down a microscope. He knew these tracks well, but he was walking inside of the rail. I blew the whistle and started to slow down, and he didn't seem to notice. I kept blowing the whistle and yanked on the brakes. I yelled to him, but it was too late.
What did you say?
Hello, below there. Look out, look out. For God's sake, clear the way. It was dreadful, sir. I never stopped calling out to him. I put my arm before my eyes not to see, and I waved this arm to the last, but it was of no use.
The signalman had been warned about this event and was very concerned that travelers entrusted to his care on that part of the line might be harmed. The words and gestures were exactly the same. The signalman saw his own death coming before he saw that train. At the same time, his calm and composed face showed that he was at peace. The signalman had done his job, and none of the travelers on the line were harmed.
The case files we get here at Factual Actual Conspiracy Theories are often unexplained, or left open-ended. It leads us to draw our own conclusions, which often dip into the supernatural, suspicious, and strange. We cannot know for sure what the signalman saw. No one can. But one cannot help but wonder if he was seeing into a half-dimension between this world and the next. And perhaps these stories are our connection to the beyond, wherever that may be. I'm Francis King, reminding you to be weary of accepted truths. Be suspicious, question what you know, what we all know. Thank you, and good night.